Okay, so good morning everyone and good morning my lecturer. So before I convey my material development, so now I want to introducing myself. I am Nimade Purnami Widiwati. So now I want to explain about my material development with topic report text with a focus on writing using discovery learning methods. Okay, so good morning student. So now I will to give you an example about Triphotech with the title Skin. Skin is the outer layer of the body. In human being, it is the large organ of the system that covers our body. Our skin has a function to protect our body from infection and extreme temperatures, maintain fluid balance, and synthesize vitamin D for our personal needs. Then, skin has three main layers, which are epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis, that have their respective tasks and need each other. The epidermis layer is the outermost layer of the skin. This layer does not contain blood vessels and is formed from Merkel cells, keratinocytes with melanocytes, and large hand cells. Under the epidermis layer, there is dermis layer. This layer contains hair follicles, sweat glands, sebaceous glands, apocrine glands, lymphatic vessels, and blood vessels. Then, this layer is connected to the epidermis layer with the basement membrane. Structurally, this layer is divided into two regions, which are the region next to the epidermis called the papillary region and the thick inner region that is known as the reticular region. Furthermore, there is hypodermis layer, which located below the dermis layer. This layer is known as subcutaneous tissue. Hypodermis serves to attach the skin to the underlying bone and muscle and supply the with blood vessels and nerves. The combination of these three main layers has an average thickness of 1 mm. Thank you students, so good luck for your project. Bye bye. Okay, so after the teacher give the material about discovery learning, report text, and an example about report text with the method discovery learning. So now the teacher will guide the students to ask questions about the video and an example about the video provided. And then the teacher divides students into several students to work in groups, and the teachers guide students in the working on group assessment. So this the function is to provide student participation in the class and attract critical thinking to make the student to collaborate with their friends in the classroom. Okay, so good morning students. So now I will to give you the guidelines group work before you doing group work with your group. The first guide, you can divide yourselves into several groups consists of 2 until 3 students. And then the second, please write the questions or problem related to the video in the worksheet given by the teacher. And the 3, the worksheet consists of problem and hypothesis related to the video given. And the 4, please write some note for the important point based on the tentative hypothesis in the video. And the 5, when taking notes, you should understand of the example of video that related to the current phenomena. And the sixth, you must complete the data provided. And the seventh, you should make example of report text with your structure report text after you understand from example video. And the last, after that you can study it again and share with your friends what you get from doing the assessments and then discuss in the class. Thank you. Good luck, student. Okay, so good morning, student. So now I will to give you worksheet for your group. This is 3 worksheet. There are group 1, 2 and 3. In the first slide here for group 1, you can write your name, your group in here 1, 2, 3, and then after you write your group name, you can add the problem and hypothesis in the worksheet for the video. For example, in the problem, do a video have characteristic? And then in the hypothesis, yes, the video have 3 characteristics. In the second problem, do a video have general clarification? And then in the hypothesis, the video have general clarification in the first paragraph. Next to the group second, this is same with the group 1. You can write your group name, the first one and third. After that, you can add the problem and hypothesis in the worksheet for video. So this example same with group 1. For example, do a video have characteristic? In the hypothesis, yes, the video have 3 characteristics. And the second problem, do a video have general clarification? And then in the hypothesis, the video have general clarification in the first paragraph. In the last, for group 3, so same, you can write your group 1, 2 and 3, and after you can add the problem and hypothesis in the worksheet for video. In the first problem, do a video have characteristic? And then in the hypothesis, yes, the video have 3 characteristics. And the second problem, do a video have general clarification? And then in the hypothesis, the video have general clarification in the first paragraph. So thank you, students, and good luck. So after the teacher ask the question for the students, and after the teacher guiding the students, so now the teacher will ask the student to read sample videos about report text and look for a general clarification and sort in the video that has given. And then this the function for this the data collection here to the collect general clarification that have been obtained from the sample videos that have given by the teacher. So let's to check the video I will to give for you the students, and then this the video make you understand about you. And then also you can write the important thing of you, and then I will to give you example for the note. So good morning, student. So now I will to give you the note. This the note, you can write the note from you see the video about report text, and then you can note in here the 2 topic. The first topic about hypothesis and the second about the data. The example of hypothesis. The first hypothesis is the video has the characteristic, and then in the data you can write supported data from the video in the video has 3 characteristics. And then the second hypothesis from the video is the video has the general classification, and then you can write in the data from the video, supported data from the video in the first paragraph. And the third hypothesis from the video is the video has the description. In the data, you can write supported data from the video in the second paragraph. Thank you. Good luck, student. Okay, so after data collection, so now next to the data processing, when the teacher asks the students about the process of answer obtained by students in the data collection. And then, so the function for the step is to find out the process of students' answer from the data collection, where the students have to the processing the data from the data collection, where the teacher has given to students. Okay, so good morning, student. So now I will to give you the data from complete after you see the video, and then now you can write the first slide. You can write your name group in here, the first group and second group and the third group. And then after that, you can de-aspect from the video, and there are 6 aspects you can write from the video. The first aspect about is hypothesis, and the second aspect about the characteristic, and the third aspect about general structure, and the fourth aspect about language feature, and the fifth aspect about general classification, and the last aspect about description. So thank you for your work and good luck, student. So after the teacher processing data with the students, so now the teacher asks the students to explain and identify the data with hypothesis, or to exchange their work with other group. So after that, the teacher and students began to feedback about the learning process that has been done, and get students to ask questions about the video have given by the video. And then students and teacher look at the topic again, and the teacher checks whether the students' answers are wrong or correct, and they feedback during the learning. So this the material has the collaboration with student and teacher. Okay, so good morning, student. So now I will to give you guiding question after you read the video, and then you can write the answer from this question. The first question is, what do you know about Rivotrek? The second question is, what is the social function of the video? The third question is, does the video have generic structure? The fourth question is, what is the characteristic of Rivotrek from the video? The fifth question is, what is general classification of Rivotrek from the video? And the last, does the video have title? So this point will lead us to the topic. So thank you, student, and good luck.